For the last few years, various experts have been trying to decode the philosophy behind India's foreign policy initiatives. But almost all of them were focused on finding traces of Western philosophies in India's actions. Needless to say, they failed. Alas, only if they had gone through Mahabharata, just like they love reading Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. Hi and welcome to TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Piyush, and if you haven't subscribed to the TFI English channel yet, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates. Coming back to the story, in this video I'm here to elaborate on how India is shattering every established notion in foreign policy domain. Let's begin. In the past, we have enumerated the concept of a civilizational state, which India is. Well, the mark of a civilizational state is that when it is down, it takes lessons from its history and corrects the mistakes. That is what India has done after PM Modi came to power. Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar had explicitly credited Krishna diplomacy for India's rise on the global stage. Recently, Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar was in Delhi University to express his views on the book Modi at 20, Dreams Meet Delivery. There, he answered questions related to various aspects of India's foreign policy. Jaishankar refused to treat Ukraine crisis as a one-off incident for which India needs to devise a specific policy. India is focusing on preventing more such escalations. Citing Sri Krishna's diplomacy as the main source of India's current foreign policy, he said, India's position on Ukraine is based on Krishna's action in the Mahabharata, which was to avoid war and return to dialogue and diplomacy. Jaishankar elaborated that the crisis has created various other problems like fuel shortage, fertilizer shortage, and food shortage, among others. Modi government does not want its people to face any of those shortages. The government seeks to balance out historical interests, strategic interests, and current interests. In one speech, Jaishankar gave a full glimpse of India's policy. He revealed that this policy is based on pragmatism. This policy is based on self-interests. This policy is based on preferring national interests over other moral posturing. In short, this policy is based on Sri Krishna's diplomacy in Mahabharata. To put Sri Krishna's diplomacy in the context of the Ukraine war can be summarized in one sentence: no first use of force policy. During the time when the tensions between Kauravas and Pandavas were at their all-time high, Krishna tried his best to avoid any conflict. Due to him having a vast experience in war, he had seen the consequences the common people have to suffer due to the greed of rulers. So he went out of his way to avoid conflict. Only when the Kauravas, led by Duryodhan, did not bother listening to them did he advise Pandavas to use counterforce. India is currently doing exactly the same thing. The Eastern Europe is stuck. Russian aggression on Ukraine is the effect of a trust deficit between Russia and NATO. It has been going on for decades now. Finally, earlier this year, Russia decided to seize control of the Ukrainian region it calls Russia-friendly. But Western powers did not try to avoid the conflict. Better to say, Western politicians fueled by the military-industrial complex did not want to avoid the conflict. So they raked up their offenses against Russia, be it diplomatic, economic, or even military. Russia was cornered. On the other hand, India keeps trying to bring both parties to the table. PM Modi is in fact one of the few global leaders who has been approached by both Zelensky and Putin for the peacemaking process. Being the pragmatic person he is, PM Modi has not been carried away by it. Currently, India is the only country that has monkey-balanced both US and its allies and the Russian Federation. Currently, India is in a position to bring both the countries to the diplomatic table and chalk out a solution for peace. But until the Western powers give up arms, it won't be possible. In that case, Krishna diplomacy preaches about giving a counterpunch. Now that you've made it so far in the video, I'm sure you've noticed the t-shirt that I'm wearing. If you like what I'm wearing, or if you want to wear a t-shirt with some cool sunset quotes, log on to tfistore.com. Link is in the description below.